Why do vampires get all the cool words like exsanguination and sangria? How have Games Workshop made it possible to raise plastic from the dead? I'm your narrator Benji, and this is how to start a blood-sucking, werewolfing, bone-tastic Soulblight Gravelords army. So for those of you that have been here before, you'll know that these videos serve to provide you with not one, but two possible paths for you to choose from in the new battle tome. Both will offer something a little bit different from each other, but they'll also favour a variety of models over what may or may not be meta at any given time. That way you get more of a flavour of what this force has to offer, which will only help your understanding of the Gravelords' strengths and weaknesses. As the title suggests then, today's quest will see us gobbling up 500 points. Smaller than most sanctioned games, but the perfect amount for a small pickup game. Furthermore, these breakpoints need to be manageable, so you know you can go buy them, build them, paint them. So, to our choices. Well, if you've already watched our primer on the Gravelords battle tome, you'll know that there are 5 lineages to choose from, each with their own named HQ and signature battle line units. The Virkos dynasty, which incidentally includes the bulk of the new models in the range, are a non-starter, in large part because most of said models have to be taken in one big bulk of 755 points, which obviously doesn't require much guidance from me. That being said, if you like your undead more animalistic, then you can easily pursue this course. The Avangori dynasty are all about behemoth spamming zombie dragons and terrorgeists. So once again, not too much advice needed if you want to go down that path. This leaves us with the legions of both Night and Blood and the Castelli dynasty. And so we decided to oust the Legion of Blood and favour a more skeleton-centric build of Legion of Night. It was difficult to pick between these two, but it would become clearer as we go why we did. For our other choice, the Castelli dynasty then offers some sweet vampire synergies, so clearly this was the ideal candidate for our vamp-centric list. Let's kick things off then with the 1000 Bones build of Legion of Night, which starts with a money-saving bang, as we're going to be using the bulk of the contents of the Start Collecting Soulblight Gravelords box set. Now, these sets, as I'm sure you're aware, provide excellent value across the board, and they also contain a currently exclusive model, which we'll be using as our leader, the White King on Skeletal Steed. A well-statted leader for its points if ever I saw it, that has the chance to inflict mortal wounds on the charge, but also gives rerolls to hit rolls of 1 for a chosen friendly skelly unit within 12 inches. For our battle line choices, we're bringing a unit of 10 Graveguard that are comparatively expensive, but give you the luxury of kitting them out as glass cannons with a two-handed weapon, or giving them a bit more survivability with a shield, especially as they don't exactly foot slog with the best of them. You can even get these up to a 3-up save in the first battle round with one of the Legion of Night's battle traits. So if the guard are your elite rank and file, then a unit of 10 Death Rattle Skeletons are your chaff rank and file. Very much a filler unit, but we said skeletons, so here they are aplenty. Every time they activate in a fight, they have a 4-up chance of reanimating. So whilst on the one hand they're quite brittle, they do have the ability to keep coming back for more. This leaves us with a unit of 5 Black Knights to round out the crowd. A cavalry unit, albeit a fairly lightweight one that's going to trot across the table with the White King to give him some 4-hoofed accompaniment and moral support. You could easily swap these out for another unit of 10 Graveguard, which is more points efficient, but this way you can attack in 2 waves, with the mounted mob able to then adapt better to what's needed and where. So there you have a rounded but not quite maximum 475 point pile of bones. There isn't a great deal of commentary to add. You've got 2 highly mobile units and 2 slow and steadies that can be tough to get rid of. It's also nice no matter what you're running to have some summonable units in a Soulblight collection, because there are just so many synergies with them, so getting some death rattle early is no bad thing. You've also got the added bonus of some models left over for future iterations of the build, and despite a comparatively inexpensive outlay so far, this is a great platform for what's to come at 1000 points and beyond. From the absence of flesh then to the plethora of crimson, we take a look at the beginnings of our Gift Blood Castelli Dynasty army. Our leader today is a vanilla vampire lord, a pick by sole virtue of being an inexpensive vampire, and trust me, 500 points of vamps is not that easy to figure out. Where's a bloody vampire lord or nightmare steed when you need one? Tokenism aside, he can heal himself after slaying things. He is a wizard, his name is not Harry, and he can add 1 to the attacks characteristic of a friendly summonable unit. Job's a good un. And it's that last ability that is the one saving grace for bringing our first unit of battle line. 20 of your Dreadlord zombies. Yes, I promise vampires, and a unit of 10 direwolves may have been a better long-term fit. But at this time and in this place we need models on the table, and they benefit quite well from our Vampire Lord's aforementioned command ability. Just beware they have no save. None. Nada. So don't expect all 20 to get to where they're going. But like all good zombies, they can get back up again. And they circumvent the need to charge, as they can join the fight phase within 6 inches. You won't find any MVPs in this unit, but you know, brains. Then we have a points goblin, battle line in Castelli armies, unit of 5 Blood Knights. Now this is how you do cavalry. A pretty decent stat line and a nice and durable 3 wounds and 3 up save, but the extra scoop of ice cream here sees you moving over units with wound characteristics of 3 or less, and then dishing out D3 mortal wounds on a 2 up to said enemy units, and that's a dice roll for every model of Blood Knight you have. The tank cavalry runneth over. 2 damage weapons on the charge and 3 up to hit and wound with -1 rend is just about enough for you to concede that 200 odd points for 5 models is fair tax. And that there is 450, yes, you get a free CP points of Gift Blood, except with some zombies. 500 points is never straightforward in Age of Sigmar, and this was harder than usual. You could just easily take another unit of Blood Knights and be over the cap, or the direwolves I've already mentioned. That being said, you send a blob of zombies and their vampire overlord straight up in your opponent's grill, and you use the Castelli outflank to shock and awe the bejesus out of your opponent just when they're not expecting it with the Blood Knights, and it's job done. But then here comes the rub. One of these builds is cheap, the other is GW typical. Yes, you're paying nigh on the same for both builds, but with the former you've still got 10 Graveguard and 10 Death Rattle Skeletons left unused. And I'm pretty sure we can value some use out of them as we increase our points limit. That though denotes the end of the first part of this here story. You now have a brief taste of what to expect from each build as we go through the breakpoints for Vanguard, Battle Host and War Host armies all the way up to 2500 points. For now though, I've been your host Benji, and this is him telling you that this video is over.